Hi everyone, welcome back to the studio vlog. Jen here. If you are new to this creative space, I'm Jen Lezan and I am the creative behind the Freelance Life, the YouTube channel that you stumbled upon. So I do a combination of studio vlogs, art and creative tutorials, business related tutorials, and I also teach over on Skillshare. And that's kind of the content that you're likely to find here. Studio vlogs about once a month, and then throughout the rest of the month I have tutorials and other kind of lesson related content that all deals with art, creative, graphic design, and illustration. So I wanted to check in this week. I'm doing a little better. The world seems to be getting maybe a little better. It's been like a blizzard for the last 3 days here in the Midwest, so apologize for any of the really bright washed out light behind me. So today I've been filming for Skillshare. I have another class coming out next month, and the rest of my day is actually going to be working on editing a tutorial for YouTube here, and then pulling all of my content that I just filmed for my intro and my outro for my Skillshare class, getting that all loaded onto the computer and ready to go for editing, so that all I have to do over the next couple of weeks is just film the overhead shot. Since I'm going to be working on my iPad for this, it's all about surface pattern repeats, but dealing with the iPad and how you can make the whole process really seamless, pun intended, just using your iPad and the Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer app. So I'll probably include some teasers here on YouTube. But yeah, so that's most of my day. I'm not doing much creative work. A lot of it is tech work today. Monday and Tuesday are more of my like heavy computer work because I grade on Mondays, and then Tuesdays I do a lot of the filming and editing that I need to do for my courses and for YouTube. But tomorrow I'm probably going to be sketching and doing some fun stuff relating to some sticker packs that I'm working on for a launch that's going to go up next month. So I will make sure to film that later this week. Hi everyone, just checking in really quick for the studio vlog. So I'm trying to play catch up because I haven't filmed enough for the vlog. So hopefully you guys can come along this week. It's Monday, what is it, March 8th? So this week I am working on, right now what you're seeing is I'm building an addition to my desk so I can create a standing desk. I worked a ton this past weekend. Well, I took Saturday and Sunday off, but I worked until like 5 a.m. Saturday morning to finish my most recent Skillshare class, which I'll link above. It's a huge surface pattern design intensive that is focused on Affinity Designer and Affinity Photo for the iPad. So it's a really great class. I've worked really hard on it. I hope you all like it. But I worked so hard, I was exhausted. And all week I was sitting and I was finding that my back was hurting me. And I even, sorry, that's Ellie. I even have like a pad that I sit on to help with like my posture and stuff like that. And I'm looking really tired, you can tell, oh my gosh. But that wasn't helping. So I found this like addition that matches my desk fairly well on Amazon. It's like 75 bucks, and I just have to build it and put it on top of my desk, and it should work for a standing desk. And it's like adjustable, so if I do want to sit, I can sit. But if I need to stand, which I find ends up helping my back hurt less and my neck hurt less, then I can do that. So I've been looking at it. I thought about, like, when I first did my room makeover, I thought about getting an adjustable desk, but I didn't do that because I like the L shape better and I think it fit well, and I needed something big, whereas those desks are usually just like one section. But I think this is a good happy in between, and it's adjustable and it matches, and we'll see how it goes. I'm just building it, and hopefully I don't mess it up because Dwight's not here to help me. But I don't need no man to build things. I built a lot of the stuff in here already on my own. So, but it's always nice to have a second person just to make sure I don't mess something up. But yeah, so that is what I'm doing this evening. Ellie's going bonkers because the kids are playing outside. It's gorgeous. It's like 60 degrees today, which is amazing. Hopefully it stays this way. I'm ready for spring. It's been really cold and I'm sick of being inside. I want to be able to go for runs. But I've been working out, trying to work out three days a week, doing the rower. I'll drop in a clip here. I like my Sunday, this Sunday I've been trying to make Sunday kind of like a self-care focus. Like if I start my Sunday and finish my Sunday really nice, then like the rest of my week is like fantastic. So I worked out yesterday. I cleaned the entire house, like spring clean, dusting, all that stuff. Cleaned my office, cleaned her room, did the bathrooms. I went on like a cleaning spree, and I worked out. And yeah, so and I worked out this morning too. Rowing has been my workout of choice just because, again, I'm still having issues with my leg that I had surgery on, but it's feeling better. It's starting to not feel as tight. I do have a lot of scar tissue where my tendon is, where my Achilles is, but I'm finding that the rowing helps. And then if I use like, I don't know if you have ever heard of gua sha, but it's like a traditional Chinese medicine. It's basically a scraping tool. You see a lot of like beauty YouTubers using it on their face and stuff, like an oil. I use it to scrape my Achilles tendon. I massage it out and I use the scraper to kind of scrape over where my scar is, where I had surgery, and it helps a ton in terms of the scar tissue and the pain. So hopefully the rowing and all that stuff that I've been doing will help prepare me so that my leg won't hurt as much when I start running again this spring. So fingers crossed. I've been, like I said, focused on trying to just take care of myself, in addition to like really banging out the work and trying to do incredible stuff for my personal brand as well as all of my classes. So yeah, I will probably check in tomorrow, see how things are doing, because I'm doing more creative work. Hi everyone, welcome back to the studio vlog. So today is Tuesday, March 9th. I just want to highlight some of the projects that I'm working on today. I have to get my March plan with me filmed and edited. Sorry if you hear things in the background. The kids are doing school and I'm just trying to knock this out. I didn't have much time all last month to do this. I usually do it towards the end of the month so that it's ready, and my whole filming schedule is completely thrown out of whack for this month, so I'm actually filming and editing this to go up on Thursday. I would usually have something already scheduled, but my Skillshare class took up the majority of February. But I'm super proud of it. It's a great, very in-depth course all about surface pattern design on your iPad using the Affinity products and the apps on the iPad. Yeah, I didn't have much time to do anything other than film and edit all last month, and I'm trying to play catch up this week. So today we're doing a plan with me, so I'll drop in some footage of me doing the plan with me. These are super simple videos for me. I can just do an intro really quickly and then film overhead shots and then just throw some music in there, and I don't have to talk too much. So hopefully the edit shouldn't take me too long for this one. And then I've been working on a lot of stuff prepping for a National Week of Action with the Duck Collective. For those of you who are new, I am a volunteer with a organization that's about wealth equality, social justice movements, and fighting for student debt cancellation, as well as college for all. And I'm a local chapter lead here in Illinois with a good friend named Amy, and I'm also our kind of like chairperson for our art and design work group, where we're the ones doing a lot of the branding, graphic design, marketing, collateral, things like that. So I've been prepping, getting ready for that. It's at the end of this month, March 28th through April 4th. There's going to be actions all over the US. So if you are someone impacted by student debt and you're fighting to get it canceled and you're fighting to break the systems that have impacted especially people of color, people from the BIPOC community like me, and trying to, you know, start creating meaningful change when it comes to higher education, then definitely join us. But yeah, I've been working on designing some marketing pieces, flyers, and then stickers that I'm going to send out to some of our key locations, and then of course cut some out for us in Chicago, because we are going to have a socially distanced in-person kind of photo op protest out in the Schaumburg area, so northwestern burbs. And I've been working a lot on that, and a lot on helping with a lot of the organizing that we're doing with this week of action, and just the Deck Collective in general, and running our chapter. So I've been doing a lot of that, and with that I've had some opportunities to share my story, not just online through social media, but through some really great outlets. Recently I was featured on CNBC, and then I also had the opportunity to share my story through an event that the Deck Collective organized. We were online on a Facebook Live with Nina Turner, who's running for Congress, and she's a local rep and not in my area, but she's very well known for fighting for social justice movements, and she is an advocate for canceling student debt, and she was on there with us, and I was able to share my story with other debt strikers, those of us who are going on strike in terms of paying our student loans. And it was just an incredibly moving opportunity to share my story and share why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then also, like I said, I was on CNBC, and that CNBC article completely went viral. And of course, with that comes a lot of, surprisingly, yes, negativity. There's a lot of people who don't like what we're doing, and there's a lot of people who will take time out of their day to sit there and literally search your information online and try to dox you and send you mean, threatening emails. I had a lot of people tell me what a piece of shit I was for a lot of part of, you know, the middle of February. And if I'm being honest, that's kind of a big reason why I took a break from filming. I was just not in the right headspace, and a lot of the stuff, like, I knew getting into it what I was gonna be encountering, and I wasn't the only one dealing with it. Everyone else who was featured in that CNBC article was getting hate mail, people finding them on social media. I have my personal accounts locked down very much so for a reason, just because I have kids and I don't need weird people, you know, searching them online because they hate me, and the things that I'm doing when it comes to a social movement and my volunteerism and my activism. But yeah, so I kind of took time away from doing vlog footage just because I was upset, I was frustrated, and I was angry that people were trying to find me, or angry that I had to like pull my contact forms off of my portfolio website where I pull business through, because people were sending me hate messages, and all because I'm fighting not just for me, but for my kids' future, for everyone's future, even those people who hate me, who probably are still impacted by student loan debt. I'm fighting for them too. So it was frustrating. But yeah, so I needed to take some time last month just so that I could focus on my class and focus on that side of work, and then like not be all in my head when it came to that stuff. It was funny, like I was really upset. I was crying. Dwight is like, I told you so, I told you to be ready. And I wasn't quite ready for it, if I'm being honest. And I talked to my mom about it, and it still makes me feel like I get choked up, because this is something that's so important to me, and I know how negatively these things impact people like me, people from poor communities, whether you're white, black, whatever. And I believe in what I'm doing, and then to have people just outright hate you because they only read a portion of your story and are making up all these assumptions. Like, I had people commenting on Twitter that, oh, I didn't do enough, I probably partied all through school. I'm like, you guys don't even know me. And if you came to my YouTube channel and actually looked me up, you'd find out that no, I was a commuter student. I worked my ass off. I share my student debt and my higher education story on this channel. And you know, I'm not a person who, you know, was just trying to take advantage of the system. I'm a person who was taken advantage of by the system, and so many people are, and that's why it has to change. But yeah, it was just messed up. Like, people are messed up, and you know, oh, you should have applied for hundreds of scholarships. No, I applied for a lot of scholarships. I got 3. That still didn't cover my cost of higher education, and I shouldn't have to apply for hundreds of scholarships just to be able to compete and get into a higher education system, where some people are just handed that opportunity, and even if they're not handed it, they don't see the privilege that they have when it comes to, oh, my parents were able to save. That is a privilege in of itself. My mom could not save. She was a housekeeper. We lived paycheck to paycheck. I had to get a job at 14 years old to help her so that we wouldn't get kicked out of our house. We wouldn't have our lights turned off. So to have people like blatantly like make up lies and make assumptions about me online was just really upsetting. But I had a few weeks to kind of like decompress and like process it all, and I processed all of that with my therapist, and I processed some of it with Dwight, and we talked about it. And it's funny though, because I know like a couple of years ago, he's just like, he would tell me, Jenny, you're gonna be doing big things, you just have to be ready for it. Like, know that this kind of stuff, people are brutal, and he was right. And I wasn't completely prepared for some of the negativity, or the fact that people would like search my contact information and like find my email and email me directly, was just like, it freaked me out. So, but my therapist made a good point. She's like, a lot of people will run away from that, and you didn't. You kept moving forward, and I think that's what's important. And it's because I believe in what I'm doing, and I'm not just doing it for selfish reasons. I'm looking at it from the big picture and the actual benefit that things like college for all or Medicare for all or canceling student debt, the benefits that that can bring to communities who are in poverty, to the communities that are often most at risk. It's a huge thing, and there's going to be a lot of people who are part of the system that doesn't want that to happen, and a lot of us who are in this movement have to be ready to deal with that. And I got a taste of it, and I feel like it didn't scare me, and it's fueling my fire. I could be angry and do nothing and just sulk about it, or I could be angry and put it to good use, and that's what I'm doing. I have some drawing that I want to do, some sticker packs, but then also I really want to push myself to be, I love making beautiful things and cute things and stuff like that, but I'm doing a lot of design work for this movement, right? And I want to be not so scared about sharing my perspectives and my opinions through my artwork. So hopefully I can get started on a project that's more of like an art-based social justice kind of piece that I'm going to put over on Instagram and start kind of like a series of artwork with that. And who knows, maybe that'll lead to a class. I do a lot of graphic design work for a lot of the nonprofits that I used to work with, or the volunteer organization, or the organizations that I used to volunteer with as well, and then of course the Suffragette Collective. So I'm thinking about like, how can I maybe think about a class that I can create relating to social justice movements, design for good, and the importance of visual communication when it comes to movements like what we're seeing with what I do with the Duck Collective, or the Sunrise Movement, or Black Lives Matter. And I mentioned some of that in my graphic design trends for 2021. I'll link that above as well. But like, I'm doing that and implementing that in my own daily work, and some of it is paid work and some of it is not, but it's something that's very fulfilling to me, and it's a way that I can use my creativity for good. So I've been thinking about like a class kind of geared towards that, or maybe even just like a YouTube video geared towards that. I don't know, but we'll see. So I'm also, like I said, I'm gonna do some artwork. It's interesting. I'm trying to do March Meet the Maker, and I missed yesterday. I'm gonna post yesterday's today and then do today's as well, but I wanted to mention it in this video. Emily Harvey from E. Harvey Art, she's amazing. I love her. She's another fellow mama, and her little baby boy is so cute. But she posted today's March Meet the Maker, which is basically a work in progress. You're supposed to show like your work, your most recent work in progress, and she made a really good one, and I think I'm gonna do this as a reel, and then do a visual representation of it on my feed. But basically, instead of doing a work in progress for art, she was highlighting how she herself is a work in progress, and I love that. I think it's amazing. I think it's so true, and I kind of wanted to highlight that. Like I mentioned in my January, like my 2020 recap, I started therapy back in November, and I'm truly a work in progress. Like I'm working on trying to find my groove within this whole freelance full-time artwork thing. So like the idea of being a work in progress. So this whole year I'm finally kind of getting my groove in terms of income, in terms of balancing out work and life, but it's not perfect, and essentially I'm a work in progress. And therapy has been a huge place for me to kind of work through some of the internal traumas that I've dealt with since a kid because of my upbringing, and then to work through some of the stuff that I'm experiencing now as an adult, especially with like the stuff that I was dealing with all the negative hate stuff with the volunteer and my activism work. But just the idea of being a work in progress is so important to highlight, that like things aren't perfect, and you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna stumble, and you're gonna fall, and there are gonna be hard days, and there's gonna be good days, but remembering to just give yourself grace. And I'm trying to do that, whether it be with work, with family, taking care of myself, which I find it to be the hardest thing, is just to take time for myself and take care of myself. But I'm trying, whether it be, you know, waking up a little early so that I can row or work out or go for a walk. Hopefully now that the weather's warm again, I can try running again, and it won't be so hard like it was last year. And also just like being understanding that we're still in a freaking pandemic, and like that in of itself, this past year has been traumatic for all of us, and the fact that we're still showing up every day is important.